Hey guys, welcome back to the Kids at Heart podcast. I'm Joe. I'm here with Em and Mike. Thank you for coming back. Really appreciate it. We have a pretty good episode planned, hopefully, for today. We're going to be chatting about, we're going to be answering a question from one of our earlier videos, and so it's going to be cool. It's kind of like, it's a good question, and it's something that a lot of people, I think, who are getting into the hobby kind of want to know the answer to. So,
well, I'm glad that we're all alive. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like for me, on my side, my family got rampaged with sickness with my daughter having started daycare and me starting working. So we've been exposed to, the outside, and we're getting all the diseases.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because it's like we are taking turns somehow, to like get sick, because we have planned to record this like a few weeks ago, and one of us be like, hey, I'm sick, I'm down, and we'd be like, hey, it's fine. And then when the other person recovered, the other one was like, hey man, so sorry, I'm down, there's like a bug going around. And Mike.
I got sick twice.
Yeah.
'Cause I was the
Yeah.
first one to get sick, and then Joe, and then I got sick again.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, and Mike has started a new job as well, so
Yep.
congratulations. Hopefully it's been
Thank you.
fun so far for you.
It's been going all right so far, and I enjoy making money, actual money.
Yeah, that's nice.
Money's good. It helps us buy the things we like, right?
Oh yeah,
like Hexagear and action figures.
Yeah. Now I have, plenty of excuses to be like, well, why shouldn't I buy that? I did just get paid.
That is true. Oh man. Yeah, for me, I've been quite busy as well, with work in school. I'm in the last semester of my master degree, so I'm like,
Nice.
okay, I need to
Nice.
finish strong. Yeah, how about you, Joe? You've been busy? It's been a while.
Not busy with like good stuff, I guess. Like it's been a kind of a rough couple weeks, on top of the fact that like being sick for like a couple of them and stuff like that. But it's just, there's a lot of stuff going on kind of behind the scenes. So I haven't taken pictures and posted anything on my Instagram in what feels like ages, just because stuff, right?
Yeah.
So without getting too into anything, but it's just like a lot of things are kind of happening in my personal life that are not ideal, nothing terrible, but just enough to kind of like make it harder. Like I have built some stuff, but I haven't I've stayed away from social media and stuff, like just kind of I turtled a bit. So I did build a bunch of new Hexagear stuff, but haven't like shared it because just life.
I get that. No, I absolutely get that. I tell you, I haven't built a whole lot or posted a whole lot lately because I have also had stuff in my personal life, and it's called Elden Ring, and I can't stop playing it. So the times when I normally build, I've been playing video games, so that's totally that's been big hurdle for me.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because I feel like all of us, like for the past few weeks, we were kind of in the same boat, like we had stuff like outside of hobby, and we kind of like need to, sort it out. And yeah, like usual, I have built some stuff, and I actually recorded like a bunch of like not random, I have recorded, like videos and episodes, but it takes time to put together. And I'm like, man, it's been crazy, but it's June. I can't believe it's already June.
Oh, I know, right?
And
this
yeah,
year is
hopefully
zooming by.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess, at the end of the day, it's more important to kind of, like I always tell you guys, like, hey guys, make sure you take care of yourself, make sure you take care of your family, and recording or a hobby, these things can kind of wait. So Joe, we're gonna get started with our tradition. You will please go easy on us, no hard question.
It's been a while.
It's been a
Oh,
while.
it's super hard,
Oh my god.
but also very interesting. It's
All
got
right,
some
bring it.
it's got some cool stuff. Mike, I don't want to say anything too early about it, but your question you may have come across it when you were looking up, or when you maybe were researching your question from last time about
Oh,
Oh no.
you know, a drink. So Mike might have an advantage.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
So if you're tuning in for the first time, we have like a quiz for each other at the beginning of every episode, where we kind of have just a question, sometimes, just to play a game and kind of see what we can figure out and learn some things, have fun. So the one I've got is about Kotobukiya
Okay.
and their very, very early days.
Oh. Okay.
So can you guys, do either of you know the very first original model kit line Kotobukiya ever produced?
Oh.
Can I ask
Dang.
can I ask question? Or
Sure.
can I okay, is it plastic model kit or action figure?
It is a plastic model kit. It was their first
Plastic model kit.
first plastic model kit, and it came out in 1983. Bit of a hint, maybe. I don't know.
Wow. Oh man.
So if we get it wrong, is it -1?
No, because this one, like, the main reason why I wanted, like, pose this question, because I was looking at some stuff, and because it's really, like, it's really interesting, because I couldn't really find any more information about it. I've been looking for a while to find, like, images of it and stuff like that, and, like, it's, like, elusive. So part of the reason is because maybe somebody watching this will be all like, oh, I know that, somebody who's maybe been building model kits for 39 years.
Mm.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't kidding. Like, it's a doozy. It's the sort of thing where, like Mike, you may have come across it when you were,
Mhm.
doing yours, but I'm not surprised if you guys aren't like, oh yeah, I know it, because yeah, it's
I
out
have
there.
no idea. I'm
No
not
idea?
gonna try.
Okay.
Maybe Mike. I think Mike is gonna go for it.
Mike, come on, Mike, you can do it. I feel like you saw it and you're searching your memory banks. And you're
No,
like,
I'm reaching a little bit further back to seeing like some of their earlier kits at a different point. And I remember seeing one that I was shocked that Kotobukiya made. But I don't know if this is what it is, or if I'm confusing my dreams with reality again. I don't know.
okay.
I have a diagram over here that explains which ones are dreams and which ones reality, so don't worry, I'm fine with that. But oh, I'll give a guess, but I know it's gonna be wrong. I
Okay.
swear at some point I remember seeing that Kotobukiya made a Gunpla kit. Like there was something out of the Mobile Suit Gundam history that they got licensed in it and made a kit of. I might be wrong. Like I said, I could be confusing reality and dreams again, but I had this. I swear I saw something like that. They did something that far back.
It's not what I was thinking, because this was like their first original something
Original
they
line.
created.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a line called Armament, and they don't really explain if it was sci-fi. Like, they don't really explain if it was like realistic military, like tanks and armor, that kind of thing. And I have not been able to find anything else about it.
Yeah.
Because like everything I've found, they mention it in passing. They're like, yeah, the first original plastic model kit line they got into was called Armament. And then they just move on to say that in 1985, their first licensed kit was a Godzilla kit.
Okay.
But it was like, so one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring it up was because it's like, if anybody knows what these things are, because the problem is, if you Google it, and I've like Googled the Googleverse for it, it seems to think you're looking for like the modeling support goods. It's like,
I can
oh,
see that.
Kotobukiya and armament, you're looking for,
MSG.
this, and like I can't find it anywhere. So it's less of like the really the quiz question, and more of like it's like a thing
An
that I thought was
interesting
really interesting.
lost history of Kotobukiya.
Yeah, because
we should throw that as a challenge to the viewers. Does anybody else know
Yes.
about armament, Kotobukiya's first original line? Leave
Yeah.
a comment below.
please
we can probably
do.
ask the question. We can probably ask the question and pin it to the top and see
Yeah.
Mhm.
if anybody knows the answer.
Maybe somebody from Koto is watching and they'll send us kits. Yes.
Oh, nice, right?
That's a nice. I think you're the one that's confusing reality and dreams now.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not. We don't have to try to award points for that, because it was so far out there. And like I
Yeah,
said,
but
like
it's
Mike, you've
history,
seen it.
It's good.
But
Yeah, we just keep learning, man. You learn every day,
Yeah.
something new.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Joe. Do you have a picture of that thing, or it's easy
No.
to look it up? No, there's no picture.
Yeah, like it's literally like
nothing?
I found that on their LinkedIn profile,
What?
and yeah,
Wow.
and it was like about us, and they're talking about it, and it was like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
and then can't find anything. And like I said, like it's literally like one sentence where they're
Wow.
like, this was their first model kit line, and they also did these other, and you're like, wait, what? You
Yeah,
did
what
a
happened?
cool thing, like was it? And I'm like, is it mecha? Is it like real world tanks and stuff?
Yeah.
The name
no
sounds
idea.
familiar when you mentioned it. I'm like, oh, I think I remember hearing about that, but I don't know.
But I just can't
I'll have to
find it.
take a look myself.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Joe has
Okay.
sent us on a treasure hunt.
Yes. And if you can
We-
find a kit, buy it. Build
We
it.
can probably post it on Discord and be like, hey guys, here's the assignment of the month. Go and look for this.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
Look
cool.
for evidence of this line and bring back proof.
Yes. Yes. So Mike, today we're gonna talk about something that Scally has posted a while back.
Oh yes.
Oh, and speaking of which, the last episode, it was super fun with Adam.
Oh man, yeah,
Mhm.
that really was.
Man, I think we spent at least a couple of hours to just talk and chill, and it was a great time, guys. If you haven't
was.
watched, if you guys haven't tuned in the previous episode, Adam from Awesome Action Toys shared a lot of things. We asked him a lot of questions, and
He was a
we
real
have
good
more-
sport about it all too.
yeah,
It was a
he's
lot of fun.
chill.
That was probably the most fun episode we've done so far.
Yeah, and this is what we want to do, to get a special guest, people to just talk about toys, because why not?
Mhm.
Yeah. So Scallywags asked a question which I think all of us as a builder can relate to. So Mike, you will have the privilege to shoot us, no, to read for us that comment, please.
Okay. Well, for one, I'd like to thank Skellywags for leaving the comment and actually watching our show. I'm a big fan of his channel as well, so it's actually really cool
Subscribe.
to see him. Yeah, check him out. He's got some great action figure reviews. Highly recommend checking out his channel. So anyway, Skellywags says or asks, or here's his comment. He says, "Hey guys, congrats on the great episode. Even better than the premiere. Like I got into model kits during the pandemic and have built a ton since mainly Gunpla. However, I've got a backlog of unmade kits due to my busy schedule. Earlier this year, I built a Mechatrobigo, the potato mech, but still haven't built the hand scale Gorai figure it came with. I also made the 30-minute missions dog and got my wife to build my Spinaccia fencer type. I know, I feel dirty. How do you guys generally tackle a build? Do you set time in the week, over a weekend, etc.?" So I think it's a good question. It's like throughout our busy days, and
Yeah.
our struggles of being an adult, we all have to figure out how we're going to, set aside time for our hobbies, on top of having to deal with everyday life stuff. Really
Yeah.
great question. I love it.
Let's talk about backlog. I was like, okay, let's
Oh,
talk about backlog first.
Oh, my backlog of
um,
shame.
more than 10 or less than 10?
Way more than
oh,
10.
yeah.
I've got a closet
Really?
full of just Gunpla, just primarily Gunpla. And doesn't
Yeah.
include my stack of Mecha Musume kits and Hexagear kits and
Yeah.
30-minute missions kits that I've got sitting around waiting. Those are in the front of the queue, and the closet full of Gunpla is my backlog of shame.
What about Joe? More than 10? Less than
I've
10?
so I have 6 unbuilt Governor Early types alone. So I got 6 of those. I have 4 of the Sentinel 1.5s. I have
Man, more than 10.
yeah, I got a lot. I still have a Blaze Boar to build. But I recently picked up a Scarecrow
I
because
saw
I've never
that.
actually I've
I was
never
Yeah.
thinking
built one
that. I was like,
before.
that's
It's
pretty
gonna
awesome.
I'm gonna make good legs for it. So I got that. I still have like a bulk arm beta, which you just
Mhm.
got, Mike. I saw you
Yes,
just
I
put
just
that in
ordered
your.
one.
So I've got one of those to build still, one of them to paint. Like I have a pretty big backlog. I also have my second girl pluck kit in my backlog.
Mhm.
Super excited. So yeah, I have a lot. Nothing like completely unmanageable, but I keep adding to it as well. So
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think about 10 because for me, when I get a new kit, I tend to just like dig in and just go for it. But like in the past couple of months, got a little bit busy and they're
mhm.
just sitting there. It's like, man, I mean, for me, when I get started, I usually take a while to finish. I mean, which ties to Skelly's question, right? Like backlog.
Sure does.
I think all of us as builders, we have backlogs, and if you say you don't have any, man, you're a
You're lying.
liar.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
for
for
action
me,
figures. Yeah.
what it is that, I pick up kits when they're on sale. I pick up
Mm-hmm.
kits sometimes when they're new because there's certain things that you can't even predict sometimes will sell out quickly, and then you never see another release of it in like a year and a half to 2 years later. So there's
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes where it's kind of a little bit of the cult of the new kind of feel, like, oh, I gotta get it because it's the new hotness, but
Yeah,
sometimes it's like, if I don't get that, then I may never get that.
that's true.
So
Well,
that's where that
especially
comes around.
especially with like Hexagear stuff tends
Yeah.
to have not I wouldn't well no limited runs, right? Like things that come out and then go out of print that they
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
may or may not re-release. And so like the fear of missing out on some of those is a real thing,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
and then they re-release some stuff and you're like, oh great, maybe they'll do X, right? Like they've re-released Agna Rage. Hopefully they do Windfall because it shares a ton of parts,
Yeah.
Mm.
right? And like definitely recommend one of those two because they're both incredibly cool kits. So
Mm. Yeah.
but
How do you guys deal with your build? Like, do you do it all in a setting, or I think back to Skelly's question. How do you guys work it out?
Okay, yeah, because yeah, we all have our stuff going on. So
Mm-hmm.
what it is I work from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Mm.
Come home, spend time with the kids, help get dinner together, spend time with them until they have to go to bed. Like the baby goes to sleep early. My son goes to sleep a little bit later, but after that, I usually have like 2.5 hours left until I plan on going to bed so I can get up early in the morning for work the next day. So it's during those times in the evening, sometimes on the weekends if don't got anything else going on, and I get that opportunity to like sit down and have some time to myself. I'll work on stuff together, and it's kind of, here and there. I feel like, I have my setup pretty good at my desk where I can leave stuff and I don't have to worry that it's going to, like get all over the place if the cat jumps up here. So I can pick up and go whenever. Like right now, I'm in mid build of the bump up expander, which I stopped when I lost that piece, like the part of his like rib cage on the side, and I have not picked him up since because I got a little bummed out because of that. I'm sure you guys can relate.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh man.
But it's like if I wanted to finish him, I can. He'll stay together without that one piece. I could just pretty much only take a picture of him from like one side.
His good side.
He's a good side, yeah.
It's good side. What about you, Joe?
I'm in a similar boat. Like I find I can sort of pick up and build. I usually find whenever I have time, like I don't set a certain time for building a part. It's sort of like, because much like Mike with Elden Ring, like I play video games too. Like it's my other main hobby. So like there are days when I get home from work, because my schedule like fluctuates a fair bit, where like I work a 12-hour shift every week. And so like I'll get home 8 o'clock, worked all day sort of thing, and not have like the brain power to build. But most of the time, like it's sort of like I'll sit down and be like, yeah, I'm gonna build it. And that seems to happen whenever. For me, what I really have to plan out is painting. Because I have to be in the right state of mind for that. I have to block out time, like even for just basic things like the setup and the cleanup and the teardown of making sure that's all good to go. So like that's usually on weekends. And then even still, I have to like I've had times where I'm like, I'm painting today, and I'll tell my wife like, I'm gonna paint today, I'm gonna just give her a go, right? And then I'll get everything set up and like just not have the drive almost like the spark has to be there for you to be like, oh, and like and so sometimes I won't paint for like a couple of months because I just don't feel it. And then other times I'm like, yes, I'm painting everything, right? Like before Christmas, I started on my I was calling them my anti-Zoetex squad of like War Mage Hetzers. And so I finished one, and then I have Ziploc bags of the other guys almost done. So like, and then for whatever reason, I stalled on it, and then I started kind of painting something else, and then I stopped. And then I had this bug to paint my Zoanthropus low, and I was all like, I have this whole, and then I found out that the paint I use does not react with the rubber bits on him at all.
Oh, yeah.
And so that popped my like excitement balloon for painting, because I don't know what to do now. So those parts went all gummy and weird. And it sucks because I spent a long time masking, and like what it did paint looked pretty good, except for those parts. And I was like, this. So like, yeah, I got a bit defeated by that. And so now I'm trying to find a way to like bash him together, like with something else. Cause it's his waist, like his midriff and like skirt armor, like front and back. It's nothing super major, but it's a soft rubber, and it reacted very poorly to the paint. So
yeah.
But yeah, I block out time for painting specifically, and even then I still don't always paint. It's the short version.
Yeah. For me, I kind of got like I get what you mean, because sometimes I feel the same way when it comes to pushing out videos as well. I calculated maybe average like 5 hours, like at least I would spend 5 hours per video, filming, editing, and not including building the plastic model kit too, right? Yeah. So like for me, it's like different stages. Maybe like today, okay, I'm feeling like building a governor, and then I would finish it, and if I cannot finish it, I would just leave it there. But because my workspace is like this desk, it's like the same. Like I use it for like work, I use it for editing, I use it for making or building plastic model kits. So it's like everything is here, and sometimes it's a bit hard if I don't finish everything, you know. So yeah, like recently, I think the past couple of months, my weekends I usually spend with my wife and family, like traveling, because the past couple of years, at least in Malaysia, with the travel restriction, like you cannot even go out of state, it's like you have to stay in your own state. And now that things are kind of back to normal, so then we just kind of, we have been taking trips like out of states. And so, with that, it kind of hinders like the progress and everything. But I don't know how you guys can play video games like after work, because for me it's like when it comes to playing video games, I kind of need to use my brain. Like that's like I would prefer to build plastic model kit over video game, because like you just kind of follow the instruction, and you just like in the zone, you just like nip out like all the parts from the runners. But if I have to play video games, I'm like, man, I don't want to like use my brain too. Yeah, that's just me.
No, I completely get that. Right now, I'm really hooked on Elden Ring because From Software makes like my favorite games, and pretty much lately they're like the only games I play with stuff from them. So, as their newest game and probably one of their best they've made, I've really been sucked into it. But there's times like, where I'll go months without playing video games because I'm just into building model kits, and usually also at the same time I knock out binge watching shows, or I listen to music, or I listen to an audiobook. So like whatever I'm feeling around the time, that there's a whole lot of things I can do at the same time while I'm building a model kit, which is what I really like.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I was saying like especially for this year, I feel like the time goes by pretty fast. Like for this year, somehow it's
Yeah.
like it's kind of long, but at the same time it's like it's pretty fast as well. So for me, it's always this battle of like, oh, okay, I've got a couple of hours. What should I do with this like 2 hours? Should I
Right.
like watch shows and or play plastic model, or like play with my toys or do recording, things like that. Yeah. So we all have
I would also
our mm,
I was gonna
sorry.
say I would also blame my current break really. Like I feel like I really went hard building around the end of last year and the beginning of this year. So this is a little bit of a rest for me for like the last couple months. It's nice though, and I'm like looking at all my new Hexagear kits coming in. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to build that first. Okay, no, I'm building that one first now. Oh wait,
yeah.
I got this one. That one's gonna be first. So, I mean, the excitement's still there. The moment I stop playing Elden Ring and start building, I'm just gonna start building like crazy again.
His Mike's beard is going to be like down to his knees. So just gone into build mode. Well, and that's one of the things too that I really really like about having a backlog of Hexagear stuff, and
Oh,
the variety in Hexagear with governors and bulk arms, and you you can a governor doesn't take very long, right?
right. You can do it in
Mhm.
like a sitting.
Yeah, and so it's the sort of thing where if you're building one of the bigger kits, like uh that's sort of a project where like a governor, you can kind of, when you're like, I have a couple hours tonight, like I'm gonna fire together a governor, because you can get it done and get that feeling of accomplishment, being like, yeah, I built that. And then you
Mhm.
fiddle with it and do
Hmm.
your thing. Or you can really hunker down and be like, I'm gonna build a big kit, I'm really gonna sink some time into it. And like it's so great, the amount of stuff and just the variety of things too.
Oh,
like
absolutely. And the
because we
levels that you can get into, like you said, like either like, okay, I'm just gonna like, and I feel that too. It's like sometimes I want a governor, I'm just gonna snap it together. I'll panel line it, dirty it up a little bit, it'll look great. But then there's times when there's ones that beg for some detail, and then I'll spend a little extra time detail painting it. Like for
Mhm.
instance, like I'm so happy. It took me like 3 times longer probably than I normally do for building a kit, but the
Mm.
alternative
Oh
gesture, you know, painting him kind of like somewhat close to what the
Mm.
the box art shows. I
Yeah.
thought was pretty cool. And I was very happy with him with that. I'm like, I don't care if that took me like 3 or 4 days compared to like one sitting. It was like at that point in time, I wanted to do that, and I just felt so happy with the outcome on it.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
And sorry, Joe.
No, it's okay. It's all good. I was just gonna say, like, it's again, like, and that's the other great thing too about, like, you also don't have to do everything in one go. Like, and there's so many different ways you can do it. Like the alternative gestures all come in like gunmetal. So
Right.
in order to look good, they beg for a bit of paint, but that doesn't mean you have to have an airbrush and break out all the stuff. Like you can make it look gorgeous with paint markers or like a small brush and just pick out the details. Like you can, they're great for any kind of skill level, really. Like you can mess with some stuff. And
Right, because like the original intention of the alternative line from Hexagear was easier to build, faster built kits. And then they gave you the solid colors, like with the gesture, the sneak sight, to give you the options. So I love that it's great. It's like you get a kit that's really not too complex, but looks really cool. And if you want to, you can just go ham on that thing and make it just look beautiful.
Yeah, the sneak sight, I love painting that up. Like I've got a couple pictures of it on my Instagram, but it's like I went for like a really like this electric blue and white with silver and stuff, and it just like my original intention was it was kind of going to be like a bad guy, like familiar sort of thing, but it looks very heroic now. But I've also sort of, it's weird actually, most of my bad guys, which are like in my head anyway, like the more animalistic Zootechs and like the Sentinels, but they're all going to be fairly brightly colored, whereas like my good guys are all like dark colors. Just kind of.
My plan with my sneak sight is I want to paint him to like some similar color schemes to the EX Armor Quetzal governor, because I just like that whole idea of an archer with like a robotic, like kind of like a ranger with like a robotic animal companion.
Yes, that's who mine's gonna get paired with. But suddenly he looked very heroic, and I was like, okay, so. But yeah, I wish I could paint. I could get myself to paint faster. Like I wish I wouldn't hit those like stumbling blocks. Like, and sometimes it's just mentally. Like I'll sit down and be like, just not feel it. It's the same sort of thing with building. Em, you were saying, like you get home and you don't like the brain power for playing a game. You're not there for it. For me, sometimes, like if I've had like a frustrating day at work, and I'll be like, I just want to build something, and I'll get home and like, God forbid I break something because I'm like a bit frustrated, right?
Yeah.
Or because, and I have a rule too, like when I'm building, is if I drop something 3 times, like a piece 3 times, and it hits the floor, I stop building because I'm going to lose it. So I just kind of like, okay, I'm going to stop, because I'm like, I'm not into it. Like I'm a bit gutted because I was the one time recently I was like, I'm gonna take some pictures. I'm like, I'm gonna take some pictures of Steel Rain because I want to show off his robot mode. And I snapped his foot off.
Ooh,
and it's
I
like,
bet that killed the mood right there, huh?
Yeah, and I was just like, yep, that's it. And that was the last time I tried to take pictures. That was like a month ago. I was like, I'm done. I was like, and then I remember thinking, I because we talked about, our first question was basically about the Steel Rain, and like it's going to be a helicopter for the rest of its life because you can kind of get away with that. But the problem is its foot is like part of the tail rotor, so I'm going to have to glue it, and it's going to never come apart again. But I was just like, I was so mad because I was like, yeah, I'm like, I can't believe I broke that. And like, and I had headphones on, and so like I felt it break. I couldn't even hear it, and I was like,
oh no.
No. And then I like picked him up, and his foot was just still sitting there, and I was like,
yeah,
son of a bitch, because he has so many joints in his legs, except I guess not the ankle.
Yeah.
Not that way I was trying to pose it, but it just, yeah, I was very sad. So I find sometimes like and I do the same thing with video games. I'm like, I'm gonna play a video
Yeah.
game, and you'll get like just hammered by the first thing you come across, and you're like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go watch TV because I
Yeah.
can't lose at watching TV, right? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Joe and Mike. I think we can probably wrap it up for today. Coming up next, I've actually got a few plastic model kits here. This is the Six Springer right here, which I'm gonna be doing a review. It's been a while, and I've got a couple of the governors right here, the Queen's Guard and the Ignite Spartan. I'm gonna be reviewing on my channel, hopefully, well, most probably in June. I've got a giveaway video as well, so make sure you guys stay tuned. I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Joe and Mike. Thank you guys for listening. I will see you guys the next time.
Yeah, a lot
Bye,
of fun.
guys.
Look forward to the next one.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.